Today we are going to look at the switch level modeling, which is in the unit number 3. Very easy topic, unit number 3, lecture number 5. Okay, this is switch level modeling. Okay, so far we have seen that different type of modeling styles. That is, we have started with gate level modeling. In the gate level modeling, we should know the gate level circuit. In order to get the gate level circuit, we have to start it from the truth table. So from the truth table to mathematical equation, from the mathematical equation to gate level circuit, we need to develop. From that basic diagram, then we need to describe it, and we need to give it to the synthesis tool. It will generate the hardware for us, whatever the way that we have generated the gate level circuit. Similarly, but we find that there is a difficulty in it. Okay, so the difficulty is that as the number of gates are increases, it's a tedious job to write the gate level modeling for that. Okay, so therefore another alternative is that we have to use the data flow modeling. So where we need not go to the gate level circuit realization. Just we can stuck with either at the truth table or at the basic equations. Okay, if you're using the basic equations, continuous assignment statement that we have to use. If you are strict at if you are stuck at for example, the truth table, then we have to use the ternary operator. That is also a continuous assignment statement, but with the help of some operators, we can use that one. Okay, so with the help of operators, the gate level modeling, the data flow modeling can be done. Okay, now another modeling is that it is not that much advisable modeling style in Verilog HDL in order to describe the circuits, because we feel that the gate level modeling is a tedious job. Okay, if you go to the switch level modeling, means that means each and every gate is represented in the form of transistors. Okay, so for the transistor circuit, we need to write a Verilog program. Okay, generally, if you consider a gate level modeling, if you consider a AND gate, it requires 6 transistors in CMOS technology. Okay, so for that, for example, if you want to construct for example, 1-bit full adder, as we have seen that 2 exclusive OR gates are there, 3 AND gates are there, 1 OR gate is there. Minimum of 6 gates are required for the AND gate. Okay, if you consider about exclusive OR gate, it is more than that. So therefore, number of transistors will increases. In that perspective, gate level modeling is not that advisable. But Verilog is a provision that we can write a Verilog program. If the circuit small number of transistors are there, it is possible to do that one, so that we can do the mixed level modeling. Okay, that means that the circuit is in the form of a transistors, that circuit can be in the form of a gates also. We can mix them both. Okay, but anyway, Verilog has given a provision to do this one. Okay, let us briefly concentrate on what is the theory behind this one. Okay, so first one is, what do you mean by switch? Okay, as we know, the switch is actually, it is used for the on and off purpose. Okay, switch is an electronic device which is used for on and off. Okay, so this switch can be realized with the help of transistor. Okay, the switch is realized with the help of a transistor. What kind of a transistor that normally we use? So normally we use NMOS transistors. Okay, or we can use PMOS transistors. Normally we use. Okay, that means if you have any circuit is in the transistor level, that is also called switch level circuit. Okay, so what we can say that if any circuit is in the form of transistors, then it is called switch level circuit. Switch level circuit. Okay, let us see. For simplicity, I'm going to write, for example, the NAND gate. Or for example, for simplicity, I'm going to use the NOT gate. So the NOT gate is symbolic representation of NOT gate is something like this, right? Okay, so what is the transistor level representation of this one? What is the transistor level representation of this one? So you will understand this one in the basic VLSI course. For the timing, it is granted you know this, because UDC also we have done this one. Okay, we have to consider a PMOS transistor. We have to consider an NMOS transistor. Okay, this is connected to ground. This is connected to high power supply. Take a common point here. This is called an input. This is called as an output, V out. Or V out, or normally it is in voltage, yes, actually the input here, VN input voltage and output voltage. Okay, this is what actually inside of your NOT gate. Okay, NOT gate actually we have shown here is a symbolic representation. Of course, this is the one form of a symbolic representation. But what are the devices that we not normally use in the device is nothing but a transistors. Okay, if the circuit is in this form of a transistors, so this is called switches that we are using normally. Okay, so if you have a switches something like this, it is a one switch. I can say that's a one switch. It is called NMOS switch. It is called NMOS switch. This is called, sorry, it is a PMOS switch. It is an NMOS switch. Okay, so therefore by using the switches, I am going to construct my circuit, right? So therefore, this is for example that I have shown. So therefore, what is the functionality of these switches? Let us consider. Then we will go for how do we model if the circuit is in the form of a switches. Okay, so for example, you consider an NMOS. If you consider an NMOS transistor, NMOS switch. So for the time being, just I want to say that the available switches in Verilog HDL. Okay, available switches that supports the supports by Verilog HDL. Okay, so one is called number one is regular switches. Okay, so under the regular switches, we can find that the NMOS is the one, comma PMOS is another one. Small letters only we have to write, and the CMOS also we can write. CMOS also we can write. Okay, these are called regular switches. Okay, other switches are also there. So let us consider another switches is called bidirectional switches. Bidirectional switches, those are TRAN. Okay, TRAN if 0, TRAN if 1. So these are the three bidirectional switches that are available. And the next one is resistive switches. Next one is a resistive switches. Okay, so what are the resistive switches? I'll write here. What are the resistive switches? The first one is, of course, all the switches that we have noted, all these are having a resistive switches, resistive nature. I will tell you what is the difference of all those things. Just we have to use the R letter before the NMOS, R letter before PMOS. Okay, R letter before TRAN, R letter before TRAN if 0, R letter before R TRAN if 1. So, and of course, R CMOS also is possible. Okay, so therefore, these are the different switches that we normally see in Verilog HDL. Okay, so let us briefly describe what it is. Okay, so whether it is a regular switch or bidirectional switch, okay, whether it is a regular switch or a bidirectional switch, so the operation is the same, okay, but there is a difference is existed between the resistive switch and regular switch, okay. We will tell that one. Before that one, let us write what is this operation of switches. As for example, as everybody knows that this is the symbolic representation of a switch. Okay, so this is called control. This is called input. This is called output. Generally, it is called gate. Everybody knows that this is the source. This is the drain. Similarly, we consider for the PMOS, we have to use a bubble here. Okay, so here we have an control. Here we have an input. Here we have an output. So here we see the source. This is the gate. This is the drain, of course. Okay. Similarly, we considered about the symbolic representation of the the CMOS is something like this. It's a parallel combination of these two things. PMOS that we have to consider an NMOS. So these two are connected together. Take a common point. This is called input. This is called output. This is called control. Normally, this is called N control, for example. Sorry, P control. P control, say N control. Okay, so this is called CMOS switch, right? Similarly, another so another switches are something like this. Of course, I'll better to write these things at this place. Okay. Okay, fine. Now let us consider its operation of the NMOS switch. It is everybody knows that this is NMOS. This is called PMOS. This is called CMOS. Okay. So what is the possibility of the control signals here? So we want to generate an output signal, right? We want to generate an output signal with the help of input. Okay. So for example, here is a control signal. If you consider control signal, here, sorry. Here, if you consider control signal, okay, it's better to have some space, some control signal, and here we have an input signal. Okay, I think it's better to. Okay, what is the possibilities for the input? The possibilities for the input is 0 may be the input, 1 may be the input, X may be the input, Z may be the input. What is the control? This is also a line. The line can accept logic 0, logic 1, unknown value, Z value, high impedance also. Then what is the output for this one? So everybody knows that simply it is a switch. Okay. Whenever if you apply a control signal is equal to logic 1 for the NMOS transistor, the transistor is or the switch is on switch. We can say that an on switch. So therefore, a simple notation is that if an NMOS transistor, if you consider here, if it is a logic 1, it is acting as a closed switch. It is acting as a closed switch. So this is acting as a closed switch. Okay, if an NMOS transistor is connected to the logic 1, logic 0 here, in this case, it is acting as a open switch. It is a on, this is off, right? So that therefore, whenever it is on means whatever the input is there here, that input will go to the output side, right? So that's what we can observe. If control signal is equal to 1, for example, whatever all the information is there, that will go to the output X and Z. Clear? For example, if the control signal is equal to 0, for example, so it will be it is off means high impedance state, right? So therefore, all the information here is Z, 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 and Z. Okay. So the moment if you're writing the, if this one is equal to, if X is equal to, if X is the control signal, then it will be low value, logic low value. What do you mean by a logic low value? That means it may be 0 or it may be high impedance state. Okay, it may be 0 or high impedance state. So therefore, similarly, if X is equal to, the control signal is equal to X and input is equal to 1, it can be high, it will be high. High stands for output can be a high value or output can be a high impedance state. High impedance state, right? And for the similar cases, whatever the X is Z, X will become X, Z in the Z place, Z will come. The same notations or same argument is applicable for the Z control also. So it will produce a low value, high value, X, Z. So please remember that L stands for either logic 0 or Z value. High stands for logic 1 or Z value. Clear? So therefore, this is the operation of the NMOS switch that we have to use in, that we have to understand how we are getting the output for the NMOS transistor means this from this table, it will take the output. Okay. Similarly, it is applied, the same logic is applicable for the PMOS as well. Copy. Paste, right? So what is happening here? But we have to understand that the small point that we have to understand. So it is actually what we need to know. This value will be bubble is required. Bubble is required. Here also we need to have a bubble. Okay, that represents the PMOS transistor. Don't forget to write the bubble there. Okay, or better I need to write in a better fashion. So I think better use say a different color. So that's one, and this is the one. Okay, so therefore in this case, if you apply the logic 0 here, then this transistor becomes on. If it is logic 1, the transistor becomes off. Okay, so in this situation, this value is also changes then. Okay, so the changes here is that if control signal is equal to logic 0, what is the output can be? Output can be input. Whatever the input that we are applying, that input will be connected to the output. If it is a logic 1, it is an open switch. Therefore, it is there at the high impedance state. It is there at the high impedance state. Remaining all cases are the same. Okay, remaining all are same. Same argument is applicable for this this one also. So therefore, this is the nothing but PMOS switch. So this is NMOS switch. Okay, fine. So therefore, this is how we need to understand about the operation of this one. Okay, when we consider the control, when we consider the CMOS, for example. Okay, for the CMOS, I'm going to write the same arguments that is also applicable. Let us write its operation as well. Okay, the CMOS switch. So as we know that we have a P transistor here on top of it. We have an N transistor at the bottom. Okay, so you can interchange that one also. The top is NMOS, bottom is a PMOS also. Okay. So here we have an input here, input, we have an output. It is an N control, NC for example, this is PCI for example I'm writing. So N control and P control. Okay, so the operation is something like this. If N control is equal to logic 1, which means that, which implies that PC must be 0. So therefore, the complemented fashion that we have to identify. So then only we can say that, I can simply say that, then only CMOS is on. Clear? So then only it will be considered as a closed switch. This is input and output. So please remember, NC must be 1, NC at NC must be connected to the logic 1, which means that opposite value must be there for PC. Okay, then only CMOS becomes on. For example, NC is equal to 1, NC is equal to 0, for example, then PC must be equal to logic 1. Then CMOS becomes off. CMOS becomes off. So it's just like an open circuited. Okay, so this is what is happening here. So why? Because we have gone for this is actually a CMOS switch. Normally we can call it as a transmission gate. Actually there is a problem with the threshold loss problem will be there for the NMOS only transistors realization, PMOS only transistor realization. If you are combining this NMOS and PMOS, something like this, it will be, we don't find any kind of degradation of the input signals. So exact values that we will get that one. Okay. So anyway, but we have to identify that whatever the truth tables that we have given previously, when it is on case, the same notations will be there. If it is off case, the same notations also existed for that. Okay. So that means you may have a question that how it will be on. Okay, right? How it becomes on means for NMOS transistor, NC is 1 means it becomes on. So something like this. It becomes this is also on, this is also on. So something like this. So all of both are at the same potential. Therefore, it can be considered as a closed switch, something like this. Okay. Fine. So what about the other switches or other switches? So far we have seen that. Okay, the truth tables are also same for this this one also. Let us consider bidirectional switch. Okay. Let us consider operational switches. Okay, bidirectional switch. So in the bidirectional switches, what we need to understand is that in a regular switches, what we have seen, the input will go from source to drain. Okay. So the input will be, sorry, the output can be observed at the only one direction, from input side to the output side. Okay, that is a better way to we can call it as. So the input to output signal will go. Okay. Whereas in the bidirectional switches is not like that. Okay, bidirectional switches is not like that. So instead of saying that this is the switch, it is better to consider a switch. Normally we don't write NMOS switch something like this. We consider it only for the transmission gates. Okay, but anyway, we'll write some disadvantage of this one. So for using the regular switches, only signal from signal transmission allowed in one direction. Whereas a bidirectional switch can allow the signal in both directions. Okay, so for that purpose, what we are doing here is that So we are going to use a specific gates switches that is called tran switch. Okay, tran is the switch that normally we use. The next one is tran if. Okay, next one is tran if 0. Next one is tran if 1. So tran if 0 is similar to that of tran is similar to that of buffer, similar to that of buffer, but it can take both sides. Okay, something like this. uh, the symbolic representation is showing in this way. Okay, this is the one we can write it. This is the symbolic representation. The inputs we are applying here, the output is giving here. Okay, sorry, instead of saying that input and output, I can say that something like this I can write. So in out 1, let us write, this is called in out 2. That means if you consider this is an input, if you consider this is an input, that means we are applying the signal here. The other one can be an output. It will be treated as an output. For example, if you are giving an input at this point, obviously this can be considered as an output. There is no doubt. That means whenever we are giving one side is an input, that means driving this one, the output will be the next one. So if it is driving here, the signal is driving here, this will be a driving point is nothing but the input, other side will be an output, right? So therefore this is simply a buffer, just whatever the input is that output will be, but both directions can be possible. Okay, so what about tran if 0? Tran if 0. So in this means that it means that we have to consider the same buffer, but some controllabilities must be placed here. That means we have to use a one buffer, one control signal here. So this is called control. This is called control. So therefore here also in out 1 here and in out 2 here. Okay, so the input can be possible from either input to a side to the one side to another side, but this transaction is based on control signal. Okay, so what is the basic operation here? Unconditional transaction. I can simply write unconditional transfer. Okay, but here conditional transfer. So what is happening here? Suppose if the control signal is equal to C, control is equal to 0, then only the in out 1 is equal to in out 2. Okay, if the control signal is equal to 1 for example, then in out 1 is not equal to in out 2, which means that high impedance state. High impedance. Clear? So it says that high impedance. I hope you can understand this point. Okay, the similar arguments are applicable for the tran if 1 also. Okay, the tran if 1 is also the same thing. You can understand that point also. Okay, here you see tran if, what is the value? This is the tran if 1. Okay, which means that there should not be any kind of this symbol. Directly it will be connected to this point. Okay. Okay. Okay, better I need to write in this way. Okay, fine. But the question is, argument is here is that instead of control signal is equal to 1, then only transformation is applicable. If the control signal is equal to 0, there is no transformation. So here also the control signal is equal to 0. I need 1. I need to write. Okay, so this is how we need to write. Fine. Now, so far so good. So bidirectional switches and regular switches. So the operation is the same for as bidirectional switches and all these things. The same kind of transformation is possible. Okay, but whereas if you consider another one, so that is called resistive switches. Next one is called resistive switches. What is the difference between the resistive switches and normal switches? Okay. So actually in the resistive switches, the signal strength will be degraded when it is passing through that particular switch. Okay. So therefore the signal strength will reduces when it is passing through that particular switch. So for example, if you take any, for example, if your signal strength is equal to, for example, the supply strength is there, then that value will be degraded to pull strength. Okay, therefore the signal strength will be the problem. Okay, so therefore one point I can say that signal strength will degrade when it passes through resistive switches. Okay, that is the first problem. So the next problem is that the source to drain impedance. Okay, source to drain impedance is lower than source to drain impedance of regular switch. Okay, regular switch. I'm sorry, higher actually. I'm extremely sorry. It's a higher. So whenever we are using the resistive switches, the impedance between the source and drain will be higher. Okay, when compared to the regular switches. So therefore, that is the environment is necessary. Sometimes the switches are that kind of switches are necessary in your circuitry in your circuit designing. So therefore, when we have that particular situations, then Vedlak has to provide that kind of environment as well. So that's the reason why it uses the resistive switches. Okay. So we have to identify that whether it is a resistive switch or a regular switch. How do we define this one? With the help of simply R letter added to regular switch, right? I hope you can understand this point. Okay, so therefore, for example, so okay, let us write an examples. RNMOS, RPMOS, RCMOS, RTRAN, RTRANIF, next RTRAN if 1. Okay, so all these things we can consider. So let us consider the strength degradation. Strength degradation. Strength degradation we can call it as, or we can say that strength degradation we can call it as, or what we can say that strength reduction, for example. Okay, strength changes. So whenever, for example, we have a resistive switch is there, if the signal strength is so and so, for example, that at the output side you cannot find that same strength. Okay, the strength will be degraded. So let us see what are the examples of this one. For example, if the input strength, let us consider input strength and output strength. So if the input strength is equal, for example, supply strength we have given, for example, it's a very highest strength. for a signal. So it will be converted into pull type, pull. So pull strength it will be, the degradation will be there. Next one is strong. Next one is pull. Next one is weak. Next is medium. Next it is large. Medium. Okay. If you give a medium, it will go to small. If it is a small, it will go to, of course, small cannot changes here, and high impedance state also, high impedance is also the same. Okay. So therefore, the signal strengths are degraded in this way, except the small and the high impedance states. Okay. Please remember in that one. Okay. Now, what are the syntaxes that we have to use? Okay, in order to use in your programs. Okay, the syntax. For switches. Okay, number one. For example, you consider NMOS, which means that, see, you have to write in this way. NMOS, cap letter, small letters only we have to write. NMOS, the name of the gate is equal, for example, N1. Okay, it's optional. But we have to write first an output signal we need to write. Okay, so better I need to write a signal here, for example here. So control C, control input output, for example something like this. First I need to write output I need to write, then input I should write, then control signal we need to write. Okay, so this is how we need to write. Don't forget to write that one. Similarly, so keyword means better you write it in the keyword, means this is the one. Keyword means this is the color that we are using, right? So keyword. Next, for PMOS, all are small letters only. Okay, that is called P1, for example. It's an optional. Again, we have to write first output, then input that we have to write, then control that we have to write. Okay. Whereas the CMOS we have to write in this way. Let us consider C1 is my the name of the switch, and we have to write output again here, and input we have to write, then N control, NC and PC that we have to write. Okay, NC stands for N control, PC stands for P control. Okay, NMOS control we have to write first, then we have to write P control. Don't change that one. So that is the notation that we have to follow. Similarly, bidirectional. Okay, so TRAN, for example, TRAN, consider TRAN. TRAN. So T1, for example, let us write T1. So here we have only an output and input. That's all. Where about RTRAN? RTRAN, put it aside for the time being. Just we write for TRAN if 0, which stands for T2, for example, output, input, control. Okay, again we need to consider TRAN if 1, T3, for example, output, input, control. For resistor switches, same syntax will be applicable. For resistor switches, same syntax will be applicable, but instead of NMOS, PMOS, CMOS, something like this, we write RNMOS, RPMOS, RCMOS. So something like this we have to write. Okay. I hope you understand this point. Okay. Okay, fine. Next, what we discuss about the next point? Okay, shall we take one example so that how do we write this thing? This is about all the theory behind this one. Shall we write one example so that how do we utilize this one? Let us consider example. Write a Verilog program. Write a Verilog program for two input NOR gate using switch level modeling. See, so for example, if they ask you to write only the two input NOR gate, means you can write the gate level modeling or you can write the data flow modeling. But they have specifically mentioned the switch level modeling. Therefore, we have to write the transistor level circuit for the NOR gate, and then we need to write the program for it. Okay. So what is the symbol? What is the equation for this one? Y is equal to A or B whole bar. Okay, this is called NOR gate. Okay, A plus B whole bar. So this can be represented by these many number of gates. Okay, right, let us write in this way. PMOS transistor, two PMOS transistor must be connected in parallel. Okay, how do we construct this transistor level representation for the digital circuits? We will discuss that point later on. Okay, for it is granted that this is the circuit is available with you. Okay, PMOS transistor. The PMOS transistor. Two NMOS transistors are connected in parallel. So these two are connected in ground. These two are connected to this point, and this is called VDD. This is called the ground. Okay, so it is A, for example, B. This is A, this is B. Take a common point that is called Y. So it is actually A plus B whole bar operation will be performed. Okay, now the question is that we have a circuit is something like this. It's a simply a gate level circuit like, okay. So therefore we have a circuit. How do we do this one? Okay, let us start. So let us consider this is the P1, for example. Let us consider this is a P1. This is called P2. This is called N1. This is called N2. Okay. And first of all, this is similar to the gate level modeling or the structural modeling like. First we take a P1. So what is the name of this? Before going to that one, let us write a module name, right? Module. What is the module name? Let us give. Let us give the module name is NOR underscore switch. So this is what I have given. Okay, we have only, so see here we have a NOR gate something like this. We have A, B, Y. We don't bother about the VDD and ground. Okay, so we have top level description is A is available, B is available, Y is available. Okay, so out of this one inputs are A comma B. Out of these things output is Y. Okay, output is Y. Fine. Next one, we have to call P1. What is the syntax for the P1? PMOS. The name of this one is P1. First output I need to write. So see, very, very important point is that whenever we are writing the PMOS transistor, this becomes a source for the PMOS transistor. This becomes a drain for that particular PMOS transistor. So this becomes a drain. This becomes source. This becomes a drain. This must be source. This becomes a drain. This must be source. That means for PMOS transistor, source must be at high potential, drain must be at low potential. Okay, for NMOS transistor, vice versa. Okay, so for the P1, let us consider. So in that situation, the output for the PMOS transistor or NMOS transistor is the drain only. There is no option for that. Okay, so therefore, what is the value of this one? First, what should be there? I did not mention anything here. Let us consider this is called some X anpano. It is called X in between that one. For the sake of simplicity, I'm writing SD, something like this. No need to write for that one. Okay. Okay. So what is the output for this one? First of all, X is my output. Okay. X is my output. What is the input for this one? Source. Source is available at the VDD, right? So source is available at VDD. Now, what is the control signal? Control is A, right? As simple as that. But it did not mention what is the VDD. I did not mention what do you mean by VDD. For that one, I'm going to write actually the supply voltages, especially for the supply voltages. I need to write supply is the keyword. So those are all supply data type. Supply 1 stands for high supply. What is the value that what is the name that we have given? VDD. So don't forget to write this one. Okay. And another supply is, you can write the adjacent to that one also. Supply 0. What is the supply 0 here? Ground. G and D ground. Okay. So that's how I need to write. So without writing the supply voltages, supply 1, supply 0, that cannot be executed. Okay, the supply 1 is actually the name I have given is VDD. Instead of VDD, you can give any name. Supply 0 is actually a ground actually. So I'm writing the G and DM is the variable that I'm giving. If you want to write it anyway, you can write it there. But it's meaningful way that you write VDD and ground. Similarly, we have another transistor that is called P2. So therefore, we can start with the PMOS, P2. So Y is my output, X is my input, B is my output. Some NMOS there again. NMOS, N1. What is the output for this one? Output is Y. Y is my output. What is the input for this one? It is at the ground side, G and D ground. What is the control for this one? A, something like this. Similarly, write NMOS, N2. So Y, input side is ground is connected to that one. Control signal is B. That's all. This is an N module. So don't forget to write what is the intermediate signals. So X is an intermediate signal, right? I can write here simply Y, X. Don't forget to write Y, X. So this is how we need to write a Verilog program when the circuit is in the form of a transistors. Okay, when the circuit is in the form of a transistor, this is how we need to write. The same theory is applicable for all the circuits that are available in transistor level. Okay, but don't forget about the power supply information. Don't forget about writing the intermediate lines. Everything is as usual. Okay, that is how we need to write. If you have any doubt, please let me know. Otherwise, we can stop here. By the way, just write the test bench for this one. Okay, test bench is also the same. So A we should write, B we should write, Y it will be generated. So take it as a homework. Write the test bench for it. Okay, so much time we have spent on how to write the test benches. Please make use of that video lectures and then try to write the Verilog program for it, test bench for it. Okay, so with this, the switch level modeling is almost 90% is completed. Only 10%, another two or three examples we will see, and moreover, we are going to talk about what if the delays also may be a possibility is there. How to write the delay information for that one also we will look at in the next class. Okay.
Sir, this topic will be in the tomorrow's exams.
Yeah, this topic is there for the tomorrow's exam also. Okay. You have to go through that for the tomorrow's exam.
Starting from the third module to up to this, no, sir?
Yeah, whatever the topics that I have discussed after the first unit, whatever the topics that I have discussed, all these things will be available in the syllabus for the examination. Okay.
This is third unit now.
Yeah, third unit.
And after second.
After the second unit, after the second unit, whatever the contents are there, that contents will be there up to this point. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. So thank you very much. We'll see you in the next class. What is the exam time tomorrow? Exam time tomorrow?
5 to 6, sir.
5 to 6.
5 to 6.
Okay, fine. All the best.